What's up, everyone? What's going on? How are we today? Not going to lie, had a little bit of a late start to the day. One of those. One of those where you wake up, it's like, oh shit, I got to get out of bed. But we're here. We got the coffee rolling. We got the Yeti in place, always utilizing the Yeti. Someone asked me the other day, why do I keep using the same mug? It takes me so long to drink my coffee. As much as I love coffee, it takes me a bit of time to drink it. So with that being said, you just keep it in the hot stuff. Then it's good to go. Do I think Ben will keep up the form he had last game? Yeah, I do. I think that there's something to be said about the way that he's playing in general in the month of February. So yes, I don't see why that would change. You're in Disney World and watching me. Wow, Mikey Davis, that's commitment, dude. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Amazing. In Disney World, still kicking it with Sports Talk with Brodes. That's a fantastic thing to do. Coffee with Brodes, actually. Yo, Oscar, what's happening? Thanks for hopping in to the live stream this morning. Yeah, we got a couple things on the table tonight. We have the Sixers get a little bounce back opportunity against the Raptors. You have, well, that's about it in terms of Philadelphia sports, but there's still other things happening in the sports world. My thoughts on tonight, I think the Sixers are going to bounce back. You know, they had great looks. They had great opportunities. It's just about knocking them down. Sam, hey, bro, hope you're good. Love from the UK. Well, thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate you coming in here and hanging out with us today. While my hair is all over the place. Yeah, the lettuce is getting out of hand here. I'm not going to lie. As much as I love the flow, we're hitting the territory of, hey, it's aggressive. But, hey, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. But, yeah, I think the Sixers will be fine bouncing back tonight. I think you're going to see them get good looks. You're going to see them move the ball well. You're going to see the Raptors try and make Joel Embiid a little bit confused. And then once Joel Embiid can kick it out to a teammate, like I wonder, they always bring him a couple looks. Will they do that again? Or will they shy off of it just a tad to make him think they're going to bring it every time, but then he doesn't? I don't know, because you don't want to give him the opportunity one-on-one to start jab stepping and to start taking those mid-range jumpers. That's what allowed the Sixers to be so out of whack offensively. That's what allowed the Raptors to be so successful. Jimmy thinks both teams will adjust. I just don't know. Like, in terms of the Sixers adjusting, they got wide open looks, right? They did what they needed to do. It's not like they couldn't find shots and their offense was brutal in terms of generating actual, like good-looking shots. They did. They did do that. Our problem is that our shooters don't have quick triggers. Way too often when Joel kicks it out, they hesitate or pump fake or drive instead. Well, Seth Curry and Danny Green and Tobias Harris, I mean, they're all three-point shooters, especially Tobias Harris this season. He's been lights out. So I do think that Seth Curry sometimes is hesitant, and he likes to put the ball on the floor when he should just absolutely pull it. So there are times when Seth does it. And then I wonder, because of Ben and because of Joel and the big man naturally being closer to the basket, when someone does drive and penetrate, is it sometimes not there based off of the spacing of those two? Austin, go Flames. Let's hear it. Look, last night I even put that tweet out. Is Austin Matthews going to score? Option 1, yes. Option 2, yes. And then, of course, I had to respond to myself and say, shit. Of course I jinxed Austin Matthews. They're probably killing me on Toronto sports radio. Did you hear that moron, Brodes? That fucking idiot, Brodes? He fucked us. That's probably what they're saying today. How about Giroux off the COVID list? Did that happen? Did I not see that? I gotta fix my hair. You got the Timberwolves winning the NBA Finals this year. Well, I hate to break it to you. It's probably not a good bet. Did Giroux actually come off the COVID list? Because I've been thinking about when we're going to see hockey that matters. Because right now, It's almost unwatchable, to be honest with you. Finals prediction? Well, can I say Nets Lakers? Or is that too boring? I don't see anything about Claude Giroux. So, I don't believe it. I don't believe it until I see it. Let's talk Phillies. Almost time to play ball. Yeah, I actually put up a Phillies podcast last night. We talked about Rhys Hoskins and what he had to say to the media about being cleared. We talked about what he said about Odubel Herrera. We talked about Scott Kingery cutting some weight. So we talked about a couple of things Phillies related. Bryce Harper. And what I ended up doing was I saved the pitching conversation for a whole full pod. So I'm pretty excited about it. Tristan thinks I should start a gaming channel. I think we are going to implement gaming a little bit more into the channel. By the way, do I look like crooked or is that just me? Because it's possible that it's just me not having enough coffee yet to generate my eyeballs to be in purest form. So is there a possibility that I look a little bit shifted to the left? Let me know in the comments section because I can totally change that in a second. Do I see the Raptors road streak misery ending tonight? Well, Furcon, it's funny. I mentioned that they didn't even play in Toronto. Okay, thank you. They didn't even play in Toronto. They played this in Florida. So it's not even like their woes in Toronto even made sense last game. Which is crazy. What was I going to say though? Now I lost my train of thought because I'm watching everyone in the comment section tell me that I'm either crooked or not crooked. I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. I had to do a little bit more research on the Marquise Goodwin situation. Not sure exactly what happens with that contract since he opted out and what the deal is. I don't really know the Marquise Goodwin situation. I will have to dive into that and ask a few people that would know. I would love Kyle Lowry on the Sixers. Move Ben to the 3 and Lowry can find Ben. No, that wouldn't be the case. Here's the problem. And we did this yesterday to try and figure out exactly what you can do. We did this yesterday on the Sports Bash. The only way that this works is if you have Danny Green, Ferguson, Mike Scott. You got to make the contracts match. And Kyle Lowry's a $30 million a year player for the remainder of this year. So to get Kyle Lowry, you got to get rid of Danny Green. And I know some are instantly thinking, fine, that's fantastic. Get rid of him. He's a bum. I think he has more value than that, but would I give up Danny Green for a Kyle Lowry? Yes. The problem is the Raptors don't want a Danny Green, a Ferguson, a Mike Scott, a Tony Bradley. Why would the Toronto Raptors ever feel the need for those players? So you'd have to throw in a Shake Milton, a Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle. They don't make a lot of money. They don't. They make $1 million a year. 2.5, 2.4 in that range of millions of dollars a year. That's not going to move the needle to push you to the 30 million. So essentially, you're going to have to give up 7 pieces to go out and get your Kyle Lowry. Is that worth it? Is that something that would be beneficial to you? Now, look, some of these players, they're irrelevant, right? Ferguson, Mike Scott, Poirier. But, I mean, I guess Mike Scott is just based off of not having a stretch 4, he's someone that has to be on the list of possibly used if needed. So there is some value in him for the Sixers. Not much. I'm not saying much, but it's a body considering your stretch 4 position is all out of whack. I just don't know how it works. I just don't know how you get it done. You do the 3-way trade, and that adds another element. But if you look at the financial side of things, I think it's going to be very messy and not hard to do. Yeah, Furcon would be in there as well. Alec Pags asked, do I want Kyle Lowry? I do want him, but I'm with you. I don't know if it's worth just giving up everybody. Like, I would do it. Shake Milton, Tyrese Maxey, they're not going to hold me back. It's just the package of having to throw 7, 8 guys into the mix to make this happen. Now you're going to be more of the Brooklyn Nets. And the Brooklyn Nets are scary with the 3-headed monster, but they stink. Absolutely stink in depth, and you might just become a team that flat out has nothing in depth because you lose Danny Green. So now it'll be Ben, Kyle Lowry, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, and Embiid, and then your bench is Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey. Guess what, fellas? That ain't going to get it done in the playoffs at all. At all. Now, you'd stagger minutes, so Kyle Lowry would run point with the second unit and things of that nature, but nope, you would lose a lot. You would significantly lose a lot. And it's just for the back half of this season. So it's not as if, but I do wonder if because it's Kyle Lowry, would there be a situation where after this contract, he'd be 35 years old. The big tickets are no longer in play. Would he end up signing back in Philadelphia, knowing it's a championship-ready team and his background is Philadelphia? So would there be an opportunity to re-sign him and him have a chance to compete here longer? I guess it's a fair question to ask. Our main bench guys, too young. Like, not one has played in the playoffs. Yeah, you're not wrong. I know. I say that all the time. You got to have players that have played. You need experience. This is a grown man's league. This is how it works. Green, Scott, Poirier, and Maxey would match the contract? No, I don't think that would be enough. Green is 15. Mike Scott is 20. Poirier is... What is Poirier's contract? He's on like a 2-year deal. Poirier NBA contract. Let's see. Oh, wait. His is... Wow, his is... Oh. Hold on. Wrong Poirier. There we go. Wait, where is this? Where is this? His is 2.6. So 15. No, I don't think that would be enough. Good morning, Brodes. What do you think about trying to draft Zach Wilson? I'd rather stick with Jalen Hurts than draft a quarterback. I think it's reasonable to do the research, but I wouldn't do it this draft. None of these guys, Fields or Wilson, scream definite 100% franchise quarterback. More concerns than most quarterbacks coming out of a draft, in my opinion. So I'm not just going to take a quarterback to take a quarterback. But if they feel that he is better than Jalen Hurts and he can be a franchise guy, then you better take him. If they value him that high, they better take him. Do I? No. But do they? That's all that matters. So I wouldn't personally do it, but if they feel the need to, then fine. Thoughts on the Panarin news? Yeah, it's pretty wild, to be honest with you. It's one of those topics where there's not much dialogue that can happen from it. It's obvious that something has happened due to political stuff in another country with Putin, which is really scary to think about. And I hope everything works out for the best for Panarin, because it does seem like it is a mess and very unfortunate and very sad and upsetting that someone would have to go through something like this. So all my wishes go out to Panarin. Now, my buddy chimes in here, Brendan Williams, right? And he asks, who's Ben Simmons? So last night we were FaceTiming, and I was checking in on what's going on, right? He told me that there's no way in hell that if I lined up 3 NBA players, he would be able to pick out Ben Simmons. Now, that's disturbing to me. That's upsetting. Keep in mind, not a sports guy, just a hockey guy. So I played hockey with him. Only a hockey guy, doesn't watch any other sports. But in what universe would I flash Ben Simmons up on the screen? 3 people, and he wouldn't know. Now, he said that he would know LeBron James. Who else? He said he knew Steph Curry, and he said he knew James Harden. He would be able to pick them out. And I asked, James Harden, what is he known for? He spit beard back at me. All right, I can acknowledge you know who James Harden is. But to not know Ben Simmons, I mean, Jesus. That's bad work out of him, right? I mean, he's only banging the Jenner, Kendall Jenner. Everyone knows that. Why is Reese getting surgery? No, he already got the surgery. Now he's good to go. He said as long as he gets enough at-bats during spring training, he should be ready to rock for opening day. Question for the Brodes. Is this the dagger? What is that? Is what the dagger? Can you please elaborate a little more. We got a $9.99 donation in from Alec Pags. Thank you so much. Always, let's do our cheers. Cheers to the support, to everything that you've done so far during Coffee with Brodes. Thank you so much for this. It's amazing. It really is. Thank you so much, Pags. Do you really think the Sixers will get a star by the end of the deadline? No. Does anybody think that they're going to get a star at the deadline? I think the Bradley Beal stuff has calmed down. The James Harden thing is clearly over. So there's really no one else available that screams star. I think the best you could do is Kyle Lowry, and I don't even think that that's really going to happen. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be a star. I think this is who they are, and you'll see some tweaks and some random little changes. Not random little changes. I mean, there will be some significant upgrades to the bench. Maybe to me, a George Hill is a significant upgrade to the bench. So you might see a couple moves like that, a George Hill and something else. Star-wise, though, no, I don't think that is reality here. Trade for Levine? No, I don't think that that's a reality. Hey, Brodes, love from the Philippines. Well, I thank you so much. Do I think Forster will end up being a good piece for the Flyers? Too far out to tell, to be honest. Too far out. Thoughts on Kristaps Porzingis? I like that this was brought up. So there's some rumors about him. The Dallas Mavericks maybe looking for his trade value and whatnot. I saw this clip of Greeny the other day going off about how the process was a joke and how this was after they got swept to the Boston Celtics in last year's bubble, and he was ripping the process and how bad it is, and Jahlil Okafor over Kristaps Porzingis. What a nightmare. Kristaps Porzingis is, you can look at his stats and say, oh, he's a 20-point-per-game scorer. He's been bounced around the block, and every place he goes, he gets bounced around the block again. Stop with this. You know, to point out that, oh, they missed out on Kristaps. Nobody wants Kristaps Porzingis right now. The guy has been literally moved multiple times, and it seems to be an issue. So while I understand Jahlil Okafor at 3 wasn't fantastic, I always go back to 1. You picked 3. If you picked 1 and picked Jahlil Okafor, that's a different story. But at that point, Jahlil Okafor coming out of Duke, you've picked what fell to you. Kristaps Porzingis openly had issues with the 76ers to the point where that scared the Sixers away from picking him. But let's be realistic. You can look at the stats and say what it is. I get it. It's more than Okafor. But to act as if, oh, Kristaps, how dare you pass up on this guy? Please. Please. Yo, what's up, Jake? Scott Kingery will hit 280. Bryce will be MVP. As much as I'm optimistic for the baseball season, I think you're going a little bit too far. Why do the Sixers have a problem with the Raptors? I don't get it. It is extreme. There's no doubt that it has taken this wild jump of what are you doing? Please find a way. It's either 5-25 in their last 30 or 5-20 in their last 25. I forget exactly what the stat is, but regardless, it's not good. And there's a mental block involved. There really is, because this goes back to many different coaches, many different players, many different rosters, right? So it's got to be a mental block whenever they go into that arena. And I know it's not that actual arena. It's in Florida, but it's the floor and the scenery that makes it feel like a Toronto home game. There's something to it. There's a psychological effect for sure. Definitely grabbing a hoodie and a mug so I can enjoy Coffee with Brodes with your beautiful face on it. That's outstanding. That is hilarious. You know what? I need to make a Yeti or some sort of better, like not I have the coffee mug and it's fantastic, but I'm talking for traveling purposes. I need to find a way to upgrade the Sports Talk with Brodes or the Brodes media and tie it together with something fantastic. Maybe get my own coffee brewed. That's another one that I really want to think about, is getting a Brodes coffee that we can all sit back, relax, and have our coffees at 9 a.m. We're all drinking the same coffees. I think that would be unbelievable. That would be super fun. So maybe something to think about here as I continue to dive deeper. Alec Boehm, Gold Glove this year. There it is. That might be the comment of the day. Hold on a second. That deserves to get thrown onto the screen here. Alec Boehm, Gold Glove this year. Jeez. He might lead the league in errors. He might lead the league in balls that go under his legs where he doesn't get the glove to the ground quick enough. I love Alec Boehm. The dude's explosive as hell, and he's fantastic. 2 strikes on him. Big situation. Men on second and third. 2 outs. 7th inning. 2-2 count. And he's going to drive the ball down the left field line. You know what else he's going to do? He's going to allow 6 balls to get by him in the field. It's amazing. Might be the comment of the day. Try and top that one, everyone. Am I better than Joel? I'm going to say no. How do I feel about a Lou Will trade? I don't know if that's very realistic. But if you're telling me you can get Lou Will, then yes. I just don't know how realistic that is. That's the problem. I like to look at more realistic options. Would you want DeMarcus Cousins on the Sixers? Is that another Dwight Howard-ish kind of thing? And this is where I always go with, I like Boogie Cousins, but he'd been injured, not the same player as he once was. The big man rotation, you are now talking about how many minutes if Embiid plays 35 and Ben could play some small ball at the 5, you're looking for 10 minutes of someone. 10 minutes. That's all. That's all we're asking for. 10 minutes of a backup center to play in playoff ball. You would think it would be easier to find than this. The fact that it gets this miserable over and over again. Yeah, you're right. DeMarcus Cousins does have a different element in the game, but I think we'd have the same conversation about Boogie than we do Dwight Howard. We're going to pick the flaws. We're going to say it's bad. You know what I mean? Like when you watch DeMarcus Cousins play for 82, then you start to realize what's the situation, what's the deal, how the injuries stopped him, why nobody wants him. You're going to see that just like we are seeing with Dwight Howard. Boucher is perfect for backup. Boucher was ridiculous for him to crush the amount of threes that he was crushing consistently. And I know the guy averages a lot, like his average at the 3-point line is something decent, but for it to get that red hot when it happened in that game, it's unacceptable out of the defense. The defense, I think, is the most concerning since the road trip, that West Coast swing. This situation defensively, what's going on? Where'd the lockdown go? Why is the lockdown no longer in full force? Why are you giving up a bunch of points? Why are you allowing wide open looks? Where's the rotations? Saying Boehm will be a Gold Glove is like saying Korkmaz will shoot 50% from 3 this year. Korkmaz has been bad. And I hate to shoot a man when he's down here, kick a man when he's down, I should say, in today's society here. Let's go to his game logs. Well, right now he's shooting. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Furkan Korkmaz is shooting 30% from 3 right now. 30. I knew it was bad. You could see that it's bad. 30% from 3. Last year, he shot 40. See, that's why I always had the problem with him. 2 years ago, when I shredded him into a million pieces every night, which was deserved, he shot 32% from 3. But everyone was telling me this man was a 3-point specialist. What 3-point specialist shoots 32% from 3? Bad ones. That's your answer. Last year, he went 40%, which he had explosive nights. There's no denying it. But I was worried more about the other end and how people lick their damn fingers when they realize they can get a pick and a switch and attack him every single possession. But if he was making his shots, he would be able to somewhat hold his ground because he was at least producing on the other end. Well, now you're back into that territory of vomit-worthy of play. I knew it was bad, but to see 30%, that is so low. All right, let's go to the game logs as of late. And poor Furkan Korkmaz. There's so much to talk about with this team, yet here I am just shredding the poor guy. But it's deserved. He went 0 for 2. He was minus 14 the other night? Or no, was it worse than that? Where is the plus minus? Oh, no, it was minus 2 he ended up being, but he only played 2 minutes. He was minus 11 the other night. 0 of 2, 0 of 1, 1 of 4, 0 of 2, 0 of 3, 0 of 4, 1 of 7, 0 of 1. You stink. Sting. I haven't heard much from the FurCon people, to be honest with you. Who do you want at the trade deadline? And this is a common question that we're continuing to get as we get another question. Should we go out and get Lowry? This is where we're at with this. It would take so much to get Lowry. Would it be impossible? No. But I do think that giving up Danny Green, Ferguson, Mike Scott, Poirier, Matisse Thybulle, or Shake Milton, or Tyrese Maxey, one of those three piled into that trade offer, it's a lot. And I wonder if getting a George Hill or getting somebody else would be enough of a big enough change where you feel comfortable, you still have that depth. What do you value more? Having some good depth off the bench or being something similar to the Brooklyn Nets? But the difference is with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, you have lethal offensive weapons. If you have Lowry, Joel, and Ben Simmons, you can't score at will. It would be a nice starting five of Ben, Lowry, Seth, Tobias, Joel, Embiid, but that's not the same type of firepower offensively as the Brooklyn Nets, and that's the difference where, you can't score at will whenever you want to, like you can with the three-headed monster. Furcon Corkmoss, as you're ripping through his stats, comes in with a $2 donation. Would you hold up? I'm in a slump right now, my man. Yes, you are, and you need to figure it out. Would you trade Maxey Matisse in a first or two? That would never get the job done, Ethan. That would never get the job done. If you're the Bulls, why would you do that? If you're the Bulls, why would you trade Zach LaVine for a couple firsts and Matisse style? Like, why would you do that? You have Zach LaVine. If your hope is to get a Zach LaVine with those picks, I mean, you have LaVine. If I'm the Bulls, I wouldn't do that at least. If I'm the Bulls, I wouldn't do that. I don't think so. Because you got to remember, these first-round picks, they're from the Sixers. They're going to be in the 20s. Why would the Bulls want that right now? Do you think the Flyers should sign D'Angelo? We need help defensively so bad. Look, I want my buddy to have another chance. There's no denying that. So I will absolutely say if I want the Flyers to sign him because I want him to be able to redeem himself and show the people that he is a great teammate and he's a phenomenal player. In terms of fit, though, I don't think it's a perfect fit because they need a stay-at-home defenseman. He's more of that offensive defenseman like Ghost and like Gustafsson is. Now, I think he's better than those players in some of these offensive moments. He is special, but I just don't think the fit is there from a scheme standpoint. But look, I want him to get another opportunity. I think he deserves another opportunity to prove that he's a fantastic player. If you could watch only one sport team for the rest of your life, what team is it going to be? See, that is great because there's so many layers to this. Because initially I think, well, Eagles, football, how could I pass that up? But if I'm going to strategically look at this, there's 16 games, and it's once a week. If I only have one team, I need to look for the most bang for my buck. Even if it's not my favorite team, even if it's not the Philadelphia Eagles, even if it's not the best sport of the four in my eyes, which I love all four almost the same. But you understand my point. I got to look for value here. We're looking for value. So sadly, the Eagles are off the books, even though they're the most important team to me. It's not the Flyers because it doesn't move the needle enough for me, even though I love hockey. It's between basketball and baseball. And believe it or not, I think that I would pick baseball because it's 162. So I think I would pick 162 because I get the most games. And I just love baseball. I think last night I fell asleep too. What did I watch? Game 2, Dodgers-Rays World Series. The full game I put on. Gonsolin versus Snell. Yeah, it was a good game to kind of kick back and relax to, and then eventually I dozed off because I turned the game on at like 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m., so I knew it wasn't going to be a night where I finished the game anyway, but just falling asleep to the game of baseball is just fantastic. Bryce Harper, over under 35 home runs this year. That you know what? I want to actually, do they have player props up yet like that? I know they have win totals, but I don't know if they dove deep into player props to that number. I'm curious what it's actually set at. We need any type of defenseman that can play. Yeah, but the problem is these offensive defensemen are getting shredded. The D zone is so bad. It's so terrible that, okay, player futures. League MVP, Cy Young, home run leader, hits leader, runs leader, wins leader. So it seems more like, oh, hold on, Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, Freddie Freeman, Ozuna, Bryce Harper. Okay. So you set the number at 35, right? We had a commenter come in. Mikey says Bryce Harper over under 35 home runs this year. So if you go to DraftKings Sportsbook, right now the home run total for Bryce Harper is set at 37 and a half. The under is favored just by a little bit, but they're both pretty much equal value-ish. I mean, it's minus 118 for the under, and it's minus 108 for the over. So there is a little bit of a difference there. Obviously, it's not the exact same, but it's very close. Damn, 37 and a half. That puts it in good, though, to me at least. Like, hey, they're seeing a big explosive one for Bryce. And last year he had 13, but there was only a limited amount of games. 37 would be good. I mean, I would like to see him hit the 40 mark. I'm looking at his homers for so the year before the full season, like not last year because of the small sample size. He had 35. He had 34 the year before. His last year in Washington, he had 34. Last year, he had 35. Or, excuse me. I'll repeat that. Last year in Washington, he had 34. The year after that, he had 35. And then last season, he had 13. If I was a betting man, I would say under. But it's going to be in that range. It'll be 35. It'll be 36. It'll be close to 37, flirting with 37. So it would be really close to that. Do I think... Oh, my God, I thought I almost spilled my coffee. Oh, my Lord, my facial expression was probably priceless. Do I think Rhys Hoskins is going to be good this year? Well, PGD or PDG, what you should do after Coffee with Brodes, which ends in about a half an hour, it ends at 10 o'clock. I just put up a Phillies podcast last night talking about Rhys Hoskins, talking about a little bit of the Odubel Herrera situation, and Scott Kingery cutting weight. So what you should do after this is go back and listen to that pod to get some more information. But I think Rhys Hoskins is going to be the Rhys Hoskins that we have seen the last 2 years. You're going to see extreme ups and downs. You're going to see extreme cold streaks. You're going to see insane hot streaks. And I want to know where they're going to bat him because batting him in the 2-hole pisses me off. And I think they're going to do it, but I'm pissed about it. Over under 2 threes for Ben Simmons. When? For the season or for tonight? Am I into boxing? Casual boxer fan. Not crazy. More of a UFC. I'm more getting into UFC than I say boxing. Jake, this is good. This is a good one. This is a good comment. This relates to the comment that we had about Alec Boehm and the Gold Glove. Ready for this one? Scott Kingery lost weight to run faster to the dugout after he strikes out. There you go. Hey, we got 2 really good ones today. Now, I don't know which one's better. Alec Boehm for Gold Glove is pretty damn funny. But this is good, too. I think we got 2 top-tier comments today that made me laugh. Good for you guys. Do you think Coots is the best value in the NHL for how much we pay him? Because I do. Yeah, his contract definitely is team-friendly. That's for sure, considering he's a Selke guy. But you got to look at the way the Boston Bruins do this. If you look at the Boston Bruins and their payroll and how they don't really pay anyone, like this Mitch Marner contract, right? You would never see the Boston Bruins go out and sign that type of deal and sign that type of contract. They get value on theirs. But, yeah, I mean, Cootie's getting paid $4.7 million. That is wild to think a player of that caliber is getting paid to that level. It really is insane. But there's only 1 more year left on that deal until he's an unrestricted free agent at the age of 29. So we'll see what they do. Do I like Conor McGregor? No, I'm actually a Conor McGregor hater. But I respect him. It's a fight, like a fighter that I want to see lose, but I respect what he has built. I respect that his name pops when he fights. It's must-watch pay-per-view, but I root for him to get absolutely annihilated every single time he gets into the ring, in the octagon. I was going to say the ring, but man, watching him get destroyed last match made me excited. Furcon Korkmaz comes in with a $2 donation. Thought of 2K, Madden, NHL, MLB The Show series. I think the 2K series, I had more fun with it back in 2K13, in that range. I don't play it anymore to the level that I did. I get it every 2 years or so now, casually. My gaming has dipped off a bit. Huge Call of Duty guy. I've been playing Call of Duty heavily since Call of Duty 2. But the thing is, I'm not interested in this Warzone nonsense. Get out of here with that garbage. I play Search and Destroy. I play Domination. I'm an old school, get off my lawn Call of Duty guy that plays the old style of Call of Duty games. Madden is okay, but I play NHL a lot more than those two. And then MLB, since I'm an Xbox guy, I haven't had the opportunity to dive deep into it, but I know for sure I am going to this year. No doubt about it. UFC is so much better than boxing, and Joe Rogan commentating is electric. Well, I think both are great. I think there's still so much value in boxing. It's just a different sport. Who's your favorite guy in the UFC? You a big Usman fan? Yeah, I like these guys at the top. The thing is, I'm still learning everything. And the way that I always explain it is, if you were to turn on WWE, right? You need to know the storylines. You can't just hop in on a Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown or whatever nights they do it on these days. It's been, man, years. I'm talking probably 15 years since I dove deep into anything wrestling worthy. But you need to know what they do. You need to know the background, the storylines, what this person did to that person, and what girlfriend was stolen from this guy. Or else you don't know the power of these matches that are lined up. Well, with UFC, well, I watch Usman. Well, I don't know his background and who else he fought. Now I'm starting to learn because now I've seen 2 Usman fights, and now I'm going to start seeing everyone turn the page and fight. Because also, when they fight, you don't see them. It's not like, hey, I want to learn hockey. I want to be an Oilers fan. You watch them play every 2 games. You watch them, or every 2 nights they play a game, so you see them constantly. You see Usman fight, and then he doesn't fight for another 4 or 5 months. So it takes time to really learn the identity of these UFC fighters and their storylines. But I'm starting to get there. I'm starting to learn a lot more. I can have casual UFC talk. I can break down fights more. So, it just takes a little bit of time, but I'm getting there. No, I don't. I thought you were going to say hardcore. No, I don't play hard point. I'm more of a search guy, domination guy, kill confirm guy. I don't have a favorite UFC fighter. I know that Holloway's fun to watch. I think there's a lot of fun guys to watch right now. Khabib, I mean, if you tell me I love watching Khabib just dominate people because nobody can figure him out. But that's more of me jumping onto the bandwagon where I've only seen his last 3 fights. I think it's unfair for me to say, oh, he's my favorite fighter, but there is a level of I love how dominant he is that I guess he would be my answer. But I only caught his last 3 fights total, so it is sort of me hopping on this bandwagon here. I can't wait for baseball, man. I'm going to miss going to the games, though. You might have a chance to go to the games. Who's to say you can't hop in and go? Because there's a chance that Citizens Bank Park is going to have fans. Look, we're starting to implement things now. We're getting back on track. Whether it's 2,000 fans in Clearwater, whether it's 2,000 fans at the Wells Fargo Center, the Flyers and the Sixers now went to try and get approval to allow people into the stands. You had the Brooklyn Nets do it. The New York Knicks do it. There's something to be said about getting fans back into the stands. Max Holloway is so underrated. Yeah, he's a stud. He's an absolute stud. Wizards beat the Lakers last night in overtime. Wizards won 5 straight. See, that's why this team stinks. This team stinks. No, good teams lose to bad teams. It happens in the NBA. Now, the problem is you got LeBron James trying to lead a team without Anthony Davis, and, well, they're undermanned. And when they're undermanned, they're going to have some issues. Gustafson for the North. Stop it. Who's your favorite Eagle of all time? I hate to be standard, but he's my answer, and he's one of our beloved for a reason. It's got to be Brian Dawkins. It's got to be B-Dog. Thank God for Kendall cheating on Ben Simmons. I really don't have many comments for that one. I guess you can give her a shout out if you like. See, the thing is, people look at them as basketball haters, not haters, but ruiners. They ruin everyone's basketball career. I'm a Kardashian fan. I watch the show. I enjoy the show. I think it's fantastic television. So I support them. So as much as people in the basketball world rip them apart, I love them on my other side. My escape from sports, because everyone uses sports as their escape from reality. Well, I do that too, but now it's also my job. So what is my escape from my job? Well, something completely different. Kardashians, Jersey Shore, Love Island, just dog shit reality television. So I'm a huge fan. Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. What did you think of that Lake Tahoe mess? I didn't have a chance to catch that 3 o'clock pod because I was on the air at the time. But, yeah, the Lake Tahoe thing was a disaster. I hate the Cowboys, but if I had to pick one, it would have to be Jason Witten. What are you talking about? Oh, my favorite Cowboy? There's no answer to that. I have no favorite Cowboys. None. The fact that you even throw Jason Witten on there is ridiculous. Penguins? What about the Penguins? Now that's a different story. Love Sidney Crosby. You know that. I want him to win 30 Stanley Cups. Who will win the next Philadelphia championship? With Joel Embiid playing this way, it's got to be the Sixers. It was always the argument of either the Sixers or the Flyers. The Flyers have too much of a mess. They're bad defensively. They've taken a step back. Carter Hart has struggled insanely. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a bum or, he stinks. He's going through growing pains, but he has been a flat-out mess and a disaster at times. I think the Flyers have taken a serious step back in the wrong direction, which is crazy considering their record, and they still win games. It's not sustainable. This won't work. The power play is the worst power play I've ever seen. I've seen mites at my local rink run a better umbrella and overload than they do, so that's an issue. Yeah, it's got to be the Sixers with the way that they are playing right now. Good morning, Brodes. Let's get this win tonight. Go Sixers. Yeah, no doubt. Let's get this win. Let's bounce back. Big time. Phillies, best team in Philly. I think that's a little ridiculous. Flyers suck. I don't know if they suck, but they have flaws. Claude Giroux's a bum. See, all right, you don't deserve to have the comments right now. I'm going to put you in timeout, Kyle. You are in timeout, Kyle. Sorry. He's not a bum. But, if you watch Claude Giroux this season and think that he's a bum, you don't know hockey. You don't know hockey. Claude Giroux, you can argue, has been one of the best versions of Claude Giroux that we've seen in a while. He's got almost a point per game. He's got 11 points in 13 games. He's +4. He's been fantastic in the D zone when Sean Couturier. Keep in mind, Sean Couturier was out for a handful of games, and he then had to be slotted into filling that role, which he hasn't been playing. Look, Claude Giroux at his age is not Claude Giroux of the mid-20s anymore. He's not mid-20 anymore. So, yeah, you know what? He's not that version of himself, but for him to be playing this way at this year, to think that Claude Giroux stinks and is a bum, you just don't know hockey. You just don't know the sport of hockey. You are unaware of how hockey is played. You don't realize the little things. You look afterward and say, oh, he didn't score. He stinks. Stop it. What are you, 5? Dive deeper into the game. Watch the ins and outs. Watch the two-way game. Watch what he does in the D zone. Watch everything. Claude Giroux, 11 points in 13 games. He's a bum. Yeah, he's the problem. He's the problem. What a joke. Chris talking about the Lake Tahoe game. They had a pretty good first period for giving up a goal 34 seconds in. Yeah, they had that goal to Joel Farabee. That set play seems to be a thing now because they did it with Raffle the other night. You would have thought, here we go, but no, they came right back, had a great shift, ended the period with 11 shots. Yeah, the second period, the end of that second was brutal. It was embarrassing. I just think it's so hard to dive into this game or this team right now when Friedman and Sam Moran is playing wing. I don't know what to do with this. You have AHLers out the ass playing forward for your team. You have defensemen playing forward. How are you supposed to win hockey games that way? You can't even beat this Bruins team when you're healthy. So it's hard. Do I think the Cowgirls will sign Dak? Yeah, probably. Don't we have this conversation every single day? Or every year, I should say? If we get Lowry, I think we have a legit shot at winning the championship. Yeah, well, what if you get Lowry, but you lose Danny Green, Mike Scott, and Shake Milton? So I'm not saying that Mike Scott and Danny Green are some insane players for you, but losing 3 players for 1 player, and Kyle Lowry is better than all of those guys, you now risk the depth conversation. So it's not as easy as, oh, well, you just plug Kyle Lowry on this team. Well, financially, it's going to cost you a lot. Financially, it's going to cost you some money where you're going to have to give up a bunch of players. You might have to give up 5 players to get Kyle Lowry. Would that be worth it? Boston had 9 shots, and they didn't let them set up much. Had 2 breakdowns that led to 2 goals in the first. Yeah, the Flyers are just so hard to analyze at the moment, sadly. Giroux hasn't been the problem. No, not even close. If you attack Brodes' Flyers, Brodes puts you in the corner. You're damn right. I'll pull what Jeffrey Lurie did to Howie Roseman. Get the fuck into the closet. And then I allowed Chip Kelly to run the organization, which is a bad thing to do, too. So I guess maybe that's not the best example here. What did we give up for Jimmy Butler? What was it? Robert Covington. What was the Jimmy Butler trade exactly? Jimmy Butler trade to the Sixers. Josh Richardson. Oh, that was after Jimmy Butler trade to the Sixers. Where was he then? He was with Minnesota, right? From Minnesota. The Sixers traded Robert Covington, Dario Saric, Jared Bayless, and a 2nd-round pick. Wow, what a steal for a player like fucking Jimmy Butler. Robert Covington, Dario Saric, Jared Bayless, and a 2nd-round pick was the deal for Jimmy Butler. So basically nothing. It's a hell of a deal, man. It's a hell of a deal. Did I see what happened to J.J. Redick? Yeah, he passed the ball to the referee. But earlier in the game, he was bitching and complaining to him. So when he bounced the ball back to the ref thought it was a malicious intent. So they kicked him out of the game. And then the NBA spelled J.J. Redick's name wrong, if I remember correctly. Do I trust the process? Yeah, of course. At this point, you have Joel Embiid. The process worked. Ethan, don't say I miss Dario. Don't do that. Because I have the take of, I don't understand why anyone feels emotionally tied to Dario Saric. He did nothing. He's just a guy. He's not that good. He's a standard role player. Why do we fall so in love with role players? I feel like the players don't want to play defense these days because the refs are always calling dumb fouls. I don't think that's why they don't play defense. I think they don't play defense because it's the NBA, more so than anything else. The issue with the Flyers, consistency, little things, turnover, D-zone coverage, timely saves at times, and special teams. That's what I've seen through 15 games. Oh, no doubt, but here's the problem. So let's talk about a playoff team, right? And I do think this team is a playoff team, to be fair, but they have some major issues. But let's talk about a serious cup contender. In what universe do you look at it? Maybe that's even strong. A good team. Let's talk about a good team. If I told you I have a team that is bad with turnovers, horrendous in the D zone, they don't get timely saves, and their power play is terrible, and their penalty kill has some inflating numbers as well, that's not a good team. So right now, while the record might tell you have a good team, with all of those issues, that describes a poor team. So that's why I feel the way that I do, no matter what the record says. You're right. You're right with all of those flaws. Those flaws relate to being a bad team. It doesn't relate to having a good record, and that's why I think it's somewhat flawed. Dario was the best player in Game 5 of the Boston series. Dario Saric is a role player. TJ McConnell once had a big game in a Boston series. What does that mean? Does that mean TJ McConnell, like, you know what I mean? It's ironic here. I bring up another role guy that everybody loves. But why is there this tie to the role player, but not love for some of the better players? Who do you think the 4 teams in the NHL playoffs would be for the Eastern Division? Let's look at where we're at here. I will say, I just Googled Google.com. That's the worst. NHL divisions. Let's see where we're at here. And apparently my internet does not want to load, so this is a little strange. This normally doesn't happen for me. Let's see. Exit. Let's try this again. All right. Looks like we are having some issues here. All right. So nothing is loading on any of my browsers. Yet I'm still here on the live stream. So I can't answer that question right now while looking at the division. I guess it'll be something similar to Boston, Washington, the Islanders, and the Flyers, maybe? Is that kind of a realistic thing? Remember the 2018 series versus Miami? Yes, I do remember that series, of course. Yeah, we are having some technical difficulties here. The NBA Eastern Conference seed is below 500 record-wise right now. 7 seed. Oh, but that happens in the NBA all the time, Luke. At the bottom of the Eastern Conference and all, there's plenty of teams that are not good that are in the playoffs. That's why the NBA. That's why when people say, "Oh, making the playoffs in the NBA is not some crazy thing." If you make the playoffs in the NFL, well, you get a lot more power to that. Making the playoffs in the NBA, like that's why when the Sixers are stuck in an 8th seed spot, yeah, congratulations, whoop-de-doo. You won 40 games in 82 games. You stink. You don't want to get stuck there. Should I get Orbit Energy? Of course. Orbit Energy empowers home to your solar experts. Call 800-836-3987 for more information. Go to orbitenergy.us for more details. Should we trade Brandon Graham, Cox, Slay for some picks? It gets murky if you start just shipping everybody out of here. I don't think it's as simple as that to just start trading all of these veteran guys. There's a lot more to it. All right, Kyle. Look, you're going to get back right into timeout because you're not just going to keep coming in here and spamming the most ridiculous things. Only 5 days, Brodes. Until what? What am I missing here? Why is I have so much happening with my life that 5 days, I don't know what that means. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That puts us at the 27th. Unless today doesn't count for you, that puts us on the 28th. Where am I broadcasting from? My basement. I'm broadcasting from my basement. Should we trade Doc Rivers for Kyle Lowry? I don't even think that makes sense. What is that type of comment? Oh, the Phillies game. Jesus. All right. That makes more sense. Yeah, the Phillies play on Sunday. Shame on me. I do have it written down here, though. First game. It is here on that Sunday. I just didn't know what you were referencing. Yeah, you get baseball in 5 days. I am so excited for it. I really am. Just to see the guys run out onto the diamond. I need good weather here, though. I need it to stop snowing, and it's crazy because I'm a snowman. I love the snow. I love the weather. I love when it's cold. I love winter. I prefer winter, which is a psychopath statement. But I have now hit that point of give me spring. And I think it really has to do with I just miss baseball so damn much. I just miss baseball so much league-wide. I can't wait to watch this NL West. I'm going to be diving into so much Dodgers-Padres this year. Even the AL East is very interesting with the Yankees. And what are the Rays going to be? They ship out their people. They ship out their players. What is that going to be like? Yeah, are they going to take a fall back? Are they going to find guys that have no names to them that's going to pitch and give you a 2 ERA? Look, this Padres staff with Blake Snell and Yu Darvish going back to the NL West. Yeah, that they're going to have a crazy pitching staff. I want to see Trevor Bauer. I want to see Manny Machado. Like that NL West is going to be a dogfight. I want to see Francisco Lindor with the Mets. It's going to be hard because I root for the guy normally because he's such a good dude and easy to root for. But now you got to have him on the Mets. But I'm excited to see how he plays with the New York Mets. There's so many intriguing storylines just within the division as a whole. But league-wide, I'm ready for all the crazy baseball talk for sure. Chris asked the real question, how is the coffee? Well, the problem is I haven't had an opportunity to drink it too much today because I'm constantly yapping out my mouth, but it's fantastic. We're going Wawa hazelnut once again. Maybe I'll mix in since I'm streaming. I normally go, like I said, through phases. 1 week it's Starbucks, 1 week it's Wawa, the next week it's Dunkin'. But since I do this show every day, maybe I'll implement more versions of the coffee throughout. So, hey, what are you drinking today? It's not the Wawa coffee again today. We have Logan coming in with a $15 donation. Thank you so much, Logan. We have his neighbor. There you go. Now everything's working. He wants a little bit of Jankowski to get into the mix. Now, when you say for us, what are you speaking about here? When you say for us, are you referencing the Philadelphia Phillies? Or what are you referencing? I need a little bit more context here, because who knows? Maybe you're. I'm just looking through here. Sorry, I got distracted. Thoughts on Sixto Sanchez? Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this. Don't do this. Sixto Sanchez might be my favorite player to watch. Oh, he's so good. He's cruising 102. His changeups or his off-speed pitches are faster than Aaron Nola's fastball. And that's a reality of the situation. What's my favorite winter sport when it's snowing? Ski, snowboarding. I don't really have one to that level, to be honest with you. Chris, what's your question? You got a quick question. What's your question? I did see Ekholm from Nashville is available. I think the package would be insane, but if you can get that type of player, sign me up. Yeah, I would be. Ekholm is franchise changing on the back end. So, yeah, I would be very interested in that type of money. Or that type of player, I should say. I'm just looking at his numbers. I know what he provides. I'm looking at more of his availability. He's been 80, 82, 82, 81, 80. He's been around 68 last season with the shortened season, of course. Age 30. I would be interested in him, considering you have a dumpster fire situation on the back end at the moment. So I'm just looking up his contract right now just for a little bit more clarity on everything. But to answer your question, yes, I would be interested. He's got one more year after this season, although he is injured right now, right? Isn't he on? Is he on the IR right now? Because next to his contract, it has the little plus sign. I know Nashville has been a little bit of a mess, but yeah, I would be interested in him. Yeah, Ekholm would be solid. I'm trying to catch up on some of these comments. I'm arguing with a Mets fan about our bullpen. What are you saying exactly? What are you arguing for? I think we should trade Embiid because that guy stinks and he's only putting up like 5. I think that's ridiculous. Furkan Korkmaz with a $5 donation. Score predictions for tonight. I love that. I get asked all the time, what's your score prediction for an NBA game? I have no idea. 118 to 108. How about that? Do I think the Sixers bounce back? I do. I think the Sixers bounce back and get a win. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. As we have 1 minute left in the show, Logan Wright with the $2 donation for the Phillies. I should have said that. Yeah, because he was pitching for what? Cincinnati last year. And where else was he before Cincinnati? The Padres, I think. When I looked him up. So thank you guys so much for the donations there, the $5 and the $2 as we close out the show. Mickey Moniak sucks. He absolutely sucks. He blows. He can't even field anything. He doesn't even know how to track a baseball. With our luck, Sixto would end up being another Vince Velasquez. Sixto is unbelievable, dude. Sixto's so good that the Phillies' woes would end up overpowering the problems, or the Sixers' woes would be overpowered by Sixto Sanchez and his ability to be unreal. Don't go, Brodes. Frankie, I apologize, but it's 10 o'clock. Therefore, Coffee with Brodes is officially over, so I have to go. It's not my choice. This is how the schedule works. I apologize. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every single morning. We do weekday morning, Monday through Friday, Coffee with Brodes. Look, there's one more day to get in on our giveaway on Twitter, @Brodes81. A signed Ron Jaworski picture. It's the last day. Tomorrow we will be giving it away and starting a new giveaway. So make sure that you check out that on Twitter, my pinned tweet at the top of my profile, @Brodes81. Be entered to win. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Coffee with Brodes, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.